The Council has demonstrated its incompetence and its cowardice, Solari pronounced. They gave away an inhabited world, one from the Milky Way, as a sacrifice. And, what is worse, they failed. Their desperation has dragged us into war. I tried to find another solution, but they voted and made a decision. They will have to take responsibility for it. The KRTAC hegemony will not limit itself to the systems of the traders, Nailth warned, projecting a star map showing the invaders' historical routes of advance. Their logic is simple: purge inefficiency. If the Council is inefficient, if it cannot protect us, then its territories will be the first to fall. And then, it will be us. They are no longer a veil protecting us, they are a cracked shield. They lost all authority the moment they sacrificed one of our own, Solari affirmed. They promised protection in the Milky Way and offered a world as bait. What prevents us from believing they won't do the same to us when the KRTAC press them enough? The atmosphere was charged with palpable distrust. The Council, which for millennia had been the pillar of galactic stability, now tottered on the abyss of its own decision. We cannot wait for the KRTAC to tear down the diplomatic nexus and then come for us, Nailth continued, his gaze sweeping over the expectant faces. We must act. Demonstrate to the hegemony that not everyone in this galaxy is inefficient. Lockster signaled his interest. And what is your proposal, Solari? An open rebellion? That would only hasten our doom. Not a rebellion, Solari replied. A solution. If the Council is the problem, if its ineptitude is what draws the KRTAC's wrath, then we must eliminate the problem. What would happen if the hegemony found a new interlocutor in the Milky Way? One willing to demonstrate that the galaxy can be cooperative. Nailth understood the subtext immediately. We would hand them over. The Council leaders? As a new peace offering? Solari nodded. A necessary sacrifice. A test of good faith for the hegemony. We would demonstrate that we understand their logic of purifying inefficiency. We would eliminate the source of the betrayal and present a new order, one that will not hinder their advance, but could even facilitate their objectives, in exchange for our own survival. There was a tense silence as the full implication of his words sank in. It was not just the abdication of the Council, it was the handover of their own leaders to the very invaders who threatened them. And then, Solari continued, once the KRTAC see our initiative, we would form a new council. A more practical one. One that does not sacrifice its own worlds for failed diplomacy, but protects the interests of its members through adaptation and strength. Nailth gave a sign of approval. It is risky. But if the Council falls, chaos will devour us before the KRTAC arrive. This is a way to control the narrative. To avoid being purified by extension. This is risky, Lockster warned. Conspiring against the Council is punishable by death. We were condemned to death from the beginning, Solari countered. We must sound out other delegates. Secure the necessary support. The KRTAC are not fools, they will detect any internal weakness. Our strength must be unanimous in this restructuring. The meeting concluded, leaving a seed of betrayal sown in the heart of the Milky Way. The Council had condemned Earth out of fear, and now its own members, out of the same fear, considered condemning the Council. While Earth prepared for a war it believed was imminent, the true titans of the galaxy prepared to devour one another, hoping to appease an even greater predator. Chapter 46, The Dilemma of the New Order. The conspiracy for the new Council, brewing in the shadows of the diplomatic nexus, faced an inescapable truth: to have any credibility before the KRTAC hegemony, and to survive the impending purge, they could not simply eliminate the old Council. They needed power. A power that would make the KRTAC, known for their cold efficiency, hesitate before acting. Lockster, Nailth, and Solari met again, the tension in the room almost as dense as the dark energy their enemies manipulated. The handover of the current Council might temporarily appease the KRTAC, Lockster began, his voice resonating with dispassionate coldness. But if we don't demonstrate a real capacity for resistance, we will only have delayed our own annihilation. The hegemony seeks to purge inefficiency. If we are equally useless in battle, we will be next. Nailth nodded. Exactly. We need a deterrent. Something the KR-TAC will think twice about attacking. Something that, unlike our current technology, can penetrate their cloaking or withstand their dark energy. The three thought of the only thing that had achieved that effect, the terrestrial dissonance projectile. Entity 347 Gamma, Solari said, the name of Earth now sounding with a new respect, almost greed. They created the weapon that paralyzed a central harvester. A weapon that forced HFY to retreat and the hegemony to reconsider its strategy. That is the kind of power we need. But the idea was met with a new and dangerous dilemma. Alliances with the terrestrials is an immense risk, Nailth warned. Emperor HFY is already furious about their existence and how the Council handled them. If we ally ourselves with that anomalous species, if we give them support, we could infuriate them even more, making us the primary target of their retribution. But what other option do we have? Lockster asked, the question resonating with the grim reality of their situation. Our fleets are useless. Our shields, ineffective. If we don't obtain that technology, if we can't replicate it or at least understand it, after the KR-TAC purged the Council, we will be next. And after us, the rest of the galaxy. Earth is the only known source of an effective countermeasure. Solari leaned forward. It's a risk, yes. But it is the only risk that offers us a chance for real survival. If we don't ally with the terrestrials, if we don't obtain that weapon or the knowledge to create it, there will be no new council to govern. There will only be galactic ashes. We must act fast. Emperor HFY is paralyzed outside the solar system. He doesn't want to get too close for fear of more terrestrial resonance missiles, but they also cannot return to their world empty-handed. We have to seize the current situation, or we won't get another chance. The hegemony thinks we are incompetent, Solari reflected. If we show them that we are capable of adapting, of learning from the anomalies and obtaining a power they themselves respect, perhaps that will change their calculation. But the price, Lockster insisted. They are a primitive species. How do we control that technology? And how do we prevent the KR-TAC from annihilating us for collaborating with something they consider an impurity? The question hung in the air, without an immediate answer. They had no other choice. The need for a weapon that would make the KR-TAC hesitate was paramount, and that weapon was in the hands of the species the Council had sacrificed. The conspiracy for the new Council, born of fear and betrayal, was now forced to consider a desperate alliance with the very beings the universe had condemned, in a final gamble for the survival of the Milky Way. The fate of the galaxy, ironically, might depend on the resilience of Entity 347 Gamma.